All right, live piano practice number 13, Skinny Love. I had a couple days where I didn't do shit, didn't do crap, and so I'm catching up just a little bit right now. It's going to be a little bit of review, but I'm hoping to hit the verse 1 and verse 2. If you guys want the sheet music, if you want to help support us, become a member at musicbythemeasurespro.com. $9.99 a month gets you 10 pieces of sheet music, which is high-level piano music or low-level piano music for that case. You can look at our database. I think we have over 500 piano songs on there. So take a look, check it out, and comment below if you have questions or a song that you guys want to learn next. I am learning this for a student, and I'm not a phenomenal piano player, so I thought it was a good time to dive into these, work through these live, and just, come to my lesson prepared for once, which I don't always do as a teacher. All right, so jumping in just on verse 1, we got this C sharp minor, and if you guys need to have more input on these or more help with some of these parts, just go to the other live videos. And then the A, and then the E. So the only part that really gets me a little bit, especially probably when we put metronome with it, is beat 3 on this E chord. We got that D sharp, G sharp, right? So it's 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and nobody releases until those next notes play. So we got D sharp, G sharp, release while you play the B and E. Let's try that slow a couple times from the C sharp minor with both hands. 2, 3, and 4, and then it starts all over again. So I'm only going to actually do these two measures as kind of my warm up and get my head wrapped around this again. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and C sharp. Oops. There we go. 3 and 4 and thank you for the hearts. All right, let's see how fast 48 sounds. 2, 3, 4. So let's just do right hand. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Back C sharp minor. And early guitar. Thanks for the cool. 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. So 48 is pretty slow. So let's do it with both hands. A couple times by myself, and then I'll add that metronome back in. The metronome's nice because it does two things, right? It helps me play in time. And if I can't play it in time, it helps me learn how that time should sound. And then it pushes you a little bit more than you're comfortable with. And by doing that, I kind of have like a little test, right? 2, 3, and 4. Back to C sharp minor. Cool. And I'm just really aiming to be consistent with both hands. Again, why I'm spending about 4 or 5 minutes on just warming up, getting back into the song, kind of like knocking off any lag that's been in my life, or my piano playing, I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Okay, so maybe not perfect with the metronome. Could probably go faster, but I'd rather kind of like just get all of this back into my brain. So right hand, we're starting that same way, and we'll start on this measure, and we'll do the C sharp to the E. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going B, A, up, but we're not holding everything, so it'd actually be to the A chord, and then B, A, to the E again. And so far we're using all these same inversions, right? You know, when we play C sharp minor, we're playing it this way, and a bit will change stuff. Playing the A this way, playing the E like that, which makes everything really accessible in that. Sorry, I got distracted by reading. Bro, I will not be able to pronounce your name, but hello, man. It starts with an O, and then the other O. Ajinmosa. Ajinmosa, how's your day going? I point a lot. 3, 4, and then to the E. And again, maybe we should speed this up just a bit. 48 might have been too slow. But then again, maybe I can't play this at the tempo. We'll find out. 2, 3, 4, and the E. 2, 3, and 4, and back to C sharp minor. Oops, E. Both hands. Let's try to get one that's really good. Again, now we're at 52. 52 is still kind of slow, but as soon as we add this next measure in, you're going to see why I need to do it at that tempo. So we have the C sharp minor that we're going E. So we're just kind of like breaking these chords apart now. E, G sharp, C sharp, G sharp. And then we're going to an A, C sharp. And so if this was a guitar, I probably wouldn't be spending as much time saying like this fret, this note, this thing. But for me on piano and reading notes, this is really good for me to do. That reinforcement of what notes I'm playing. And you'll see as we get to lower ledger lines how I really don't know where I'm at. And the more I call them out, the more it'll help me. And a good thing to do for you guys as well. It'd be a beat 3. 3 and 4 and 1. So I mean, I went over this all before, so it's in my brain. It just wasn't smooth that day, and then I missed 2 days of practice, and you always have to review. I feel like I have to review after that. You guys may not have to. Let's do it one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Did I wait a beat? I don't know. And 2 and 4 and so little things. I'm learning the piece, right? So I can be picky, but I don't have to be that picky right away. You know, right now my main concern is notes and timing. And I laugh because like there's other stuff, but you know, notes and timing seem to be pretty important overall. Like every once in a while, I feel like when I play this E, is what I think I'm playing. I'm not that bad at it. That's an overemphasis of what my mistake is, but you know, I put a little bit of an accent there, or I release before the end of the beat. Again, that's probably me being hypercritical about my own playing. All right, both hands together on that. Let's go slower. So we got 1 and 2 and to the A. And then my brain just froze. But I felt like I was doing pretty good before then. And kind of like, not content, because that doesn't work for me, but like happy with how it was sounding, right? Like the last practice I had with it was abysmal. And it was versus that little note I just put in. Let's see if I can do that with metronome though. 2 and 3 and 4 and last time. As you get comfortable, it's easy to start pushing that timing around. And, you know, the iced coffee that I just had probably helps as well. All right, so got 2 measures left in the first verse, and then we can move on. And these 2 measures got me the other day. So we have this E. I'll highlight what I'm working on. We have this E, and then we have an A. And just sounds really nice and pretty, right? And then in our left hand, it's an F sharp. See, I need to double check these because they're so high up in the ledger line. And I'm cheating. I'm just using Sibelius to tell me. So it's an A and F sharp. So kind of what I did with those first 2 measures, I'm just going to do this on repeat a little bit. It's easy enough. I mean, like, you can tell it's not hard to play, right? But I just want it, like, in my brain so much that the minute I take, when I try to put this into context, it's easy for me to do. Now, at 52, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now, let's look at this we'll do right hand first. So we got this from the E, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then we're moving to that. So I'm bad at that movement. I'm not terrible at it right there, you know, when I'm just running through by myself. The green tortoise says, huh. I don't know what huh is in reference to. You will let us know. So just moving between those 2. All right, let's do try to do the same thing with left hand. For whatever reason, that left hand going from that single note, if I'm playing that right, yeah, I am. That E to the F sharp A is also another spot that gets me. It's probably not that alone that gets it. It's in context, right? The two things together. 2, 4, 1, and 2, and just left hand. 2, 3, 4, up to that F sharp A. 2. Now that's again pretty easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Let's try them both. And I lost my spot. Now I do wonder when I go from the A, how am I actually setting myself up for that? And I forgot how to play it. Let me slow down. So it's my second finger. So, you know, when I'm practicing the E to the F sharp, I want to start that every time with my second finger, because otherwise it's going to throw me off, right, when I try to put it back together in context. Trying to get comfortable with it. And I would suggest, like, if you're learning this, you do it enough times without metronome. It really allows you to shift your timing, be a little late on things, which is fine. Oops, sorry. All right, let's do that right. 1 and 2 and. Now, the problem is I just can't be that late. Okay, let's do it with metronome, which is going to push me just a little bit. 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and. Other than the wrong note. 2, 3, 4. Let me move that a sec. So, lack of piano skills, right? That hesitation is because I just don't, I can't get to those chords in both hands. Yeah, it's just practice, right? It's muscle memory more than anything else at this point. Yep. 3, 4. So this is called cheating. Or practicing. Sometimes I like to do it backwards. That will help my brain. And then I'm going. You know, I'd like to be consistent with my fingers. It's not always possible. Just forgot it. 2, 3, 4. Okay, a couple times with metronome. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and. Oh, that was a double bad one. I had a couple good ones in there. I'm happy with that. So same thing, that F sharp to the C sharp minor. Let's get rid of this so that we can jump back into, or we might need to turn around. Let's keep it going from the E though, and just kind of like get our hand placement. 2, 3, 4, and I'm just gonna do both hands together. So that C sharp minor I should be comfortable with. If you're running through this, you should be comfortable with. It's one we've used a lot. So just practice from not too bad of a movement, right? And then we have this 4E and so same kind of thing there. That oops, I held a note too long. If you ignore the G sharp, I don't know the tempo yet. We'll figure that out. Just want to be consistent. I put the G sharp in. By consistent, I mean steady, right? Like no beat. It should be 4E and 4E and So from the E. That was pretty bad, but that's okay. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and we'll have to figure out, as you see, verse 2 is faster. I kind of took the metronome markings away. I don't even remember what full speed is. I think it's 74 if I remember correctly. So even at 52, we're not that far off from full speed. But I need to figure out what faster actually is. So we'll see if I get to verse 2 today. We might just be stuck on verse 1. So these first 4 measures, I'm not really concerned with. Actually, let's do this. We'll do from here to the end of the song, and then give myself this measure of E to kind of like turn it around every single time. Yeah, we'll do that. So you get a measure of rest. Good way to do it. Give yourself a little beat. A reset measure. Warm my hands up a little bit. Stall for time. Maybe do it without metronome once. See if I can do this. Okay, so we got 2, 3, 4, and 2. That's the one that's going to get me. Okay, could have done that way better. Let's try that again. A little bit slower. Yep, so I'm starting from that C sharp minor. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2. 3 and 4 C sharp minor. My brain broke. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, and okay. 2, 3, 4. 2. So all of a sudden I can tell, like, I can't think as fast as I have to go. So it might be too fast of a tempo, but let me try it one more time by myself. 2, 3, 4, and really a lot of it is I can't sight read piano that quickly. It's more it than anything else, and like you can hear me do 2 measures and I kind of understand them, right? But then when I zoom out and have to do the whole thing, it's a little bit much for my brain. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Okay, yeah. You hear pockets of goodness. 2, 3, 4. 2. All right. One more time. 2, 3, 4, and 2. Cool. Obviously rush that last measure because that 1, 2, 3 would have been a little bit longer. 2, 3, 4. Measure of rest. 3, 4, 2, 3. Then I failed. It's so good to do it a couple times with metronome, and then you're like, oh shit, I did it 3 times in a row or 2 times in a row. Pause. Do it without again. Hear your mistakes. Allow yourself to go through it a little bit slower. Or even, not even slower. Sometimes I'll play that without metronome faster, but less worried about my timing, right? 1, 2. Allowing myself a little bit of time just to think. 3 and 4 and then the C sharp. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the C sharp minor. All right, we're gonna do it one more time that way. Like I said, I got about I got 15 minutes left. We're gonna do this metronome twice, and then we're gonna look a little bit at verse 2 just to get some of it into our fingers. 2, 3, 4. So a little bit of a failure getting to that. All right, we can fix that later though. Verse 2, let's grab this tempo marker and let's slow this thing down. You see how much energy I have for verse 2. I looked at this a little bit yesterday. I didn't have the ambition or the time to do it live. Probably had the time, just not the ambition. And it's really not bad as soon as you get past this first 2 measures, then it's a lot of the same idea over and over again. And even the chorus kind of seems to play off that idea as well. All right, so things that get me. think of this like when we're playing a C sharp minor, and if you know the three notes that we're playing when we play it in this inversion, that's G sharp, C sharp, E. Well, they're almost every single time, except for the end of this E, they're always representing those three notes that make up the chord. So if you know the chord name and the three notes that make it up, it makes your life a little bit easier. So for instance, the reason I'm rambling on is that C sharp goes all the way down to a G sharp. Okay? And then guess what? The other two notes that we need are a C sharp and an E. So it's always, I say always, and I hate to say that because it doesn't always, right? Sometimes it varies. But for the most part, we're representing the three notes in the chord. We're breaking them up. We're, using them throughout. The A is another good example. The notes that are quick and easy to read that aren't too far off the ledger lines are an A there and a C sharp here. Okay? Well, I know that the A chord needs an E in it. Now, if you don't know that, that's fine. You do now know that. Think about it. Put that in the recess of your mind. And then I know what I'm missing is an E, and I know that E is lower, and I know that E is starting it. So little things like that might save you some time. It might just confuse you for now, and you might be better off taking that note and writing in C above it, printing off the music. Don't do it on your tablet. I'm actually going to skip this C sharp. I think that'll make it easier for me to play, because I kind of just want to start getting some loops going with this section so I can start learning it. So that C sharp minor. Oh, and we're going to totally ignore the left hand for a minute. So C sharp minor is going G sharp, C sharp, E, G sharp. And again, later we'll go, not that rushed. For now, it's just going to be easier to go. And then the A is playing that same idea, similar to the rhythm that we had in the first verse over the E. All right, so let's go down to 40. Yeah, let's do 48. And we're just going to do this measure, get it down. We're going to skip that first beat. 2 and 4 and 4 and. Oh, I got to play the right notes though. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And I don't think anyone likes reading ledger line notes. Like anything below or above the staff too far just takes our brain longer, right? Like we don't have this I would say a map or a guide to help us. So it takes a while to learn, like, hey, that's a G. You could think 3 spaces down as a G, but it's way, or in this case, G sharp, but. Okay, just trying to get this completely in my fingers. And again, adding that C sharp here will be much easier when we go. When we put those two sections together. All right. 2, 3. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So the E measure. And a lot of this right now is just, how can I make this easier for myself to understand quicker? And I like to practice in loops. And that's a hard loop to have. So simplify it, make it easier, take something away, put something back. Same thing with us just ignoring our left hand for a minute. Get your right hand down, understand it. Left hand seems pretty straightforward. All right, the measure of E. So we have a B. And then we have an E, G sharp. Okay. Then the only thing that we're adding to that G sharp is going to become an F sharp. And we're going to play. That would be 3 and then D sharp, G sharp, B. So a lot of like little changes inside that chord. So that's going to take me a bit. Small sections. So probably don't need to do this with metronome, but just that and 2 and 2. Meep. And 2 and. Okay, and then let's do the second half of the measure. So that E to F sharp takes my brain, right? Just a second. And then we're going back to our B. D sharp, F sharp, D sharp, G sharp. So a lot is going on, which I feel like I just said a minute ago. Nope, gotta keep that E. Yep, that's right. So that one I'm just gonna have to play 10 times, and we're probably not gonna do that right this moment. Play like 5 more. So, because that just takes all my brain power, and then I forget to go to the B. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just have to remember that F sharp, that G sharp is becoming an F sharp. Next measure is starting with the C sharp, E, and then, so really just a copy and paste from the first measure, other than this high note is changing. Yeah. 1 and 2 and then I'm on that A, we're going A, I'm guessing it's an E. Yeah, it's an E. All right, I'm sorry, we're going to a C sharp and then an E. Let's even talk about how I'm running this right now. I'm just like boom, 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 getting the rough idea of this down, so that when I come in tomorrow, I'm not starting completely from scratch. You know, I know a little bit of where I want my hands. I know that these low notes on the C sharp minor are a G sharp. I know the low notes on the A are an E. Kind of have a rough idea of the movement and the rhythm, and then tomorrow hit this with metronome, as I'm about out of time for today. That C sharp minor measure we'll jump back to, so the one that the mouse is hovering over. And then that E is doing the same thing as before. Oh, I played that really wrong. 1 and 2. Yeah, 1 and 2 and 3 and same notes, almost same notes as before. And then back to the E. So I couldn't play that, but it's nice to know that they're always using the same 3 or 4 notes, right? So again, when you look at that C sharp minor, sorry, I'll keep trying to put my mouse over top of it or highlight it. When I look at that C sharp minor, instead of being like, well, crap, I have to figure out all these notes, I really don't. I know it's an E because it's always been an E in my pinky when we're in this lower register. I know this is a G sharp because it's always been a G sharp. They're not trying to trick me. So then I'm just kind of like, okay, I'll just have to read that rhythm. 1 and 2 and same thing with that A. Now, what does trick me is, well, let's starting with a C sharp. For some reason, my brain sees the A chord shape over top. My brain goes, oh, they're playing an A, but they're playing a C sharp. And then an E, down to the B. That's what I have time for right now. But that's kind of, I mean, we looked at verse 2, so the video name is not a complete lie. It just needs some more time. But ask questions if you guys have any. I hope this helps you guys a little bit. I know doing these lives kind of forces me to learn it a little bit different. If you guys need the sheet music, it's at our website, musicbythemeasurespro.com. Or if you just want to support us, if you have videos you want to learn, or not videos you want to learn, if you have songs